have sex. Hi guys, my name is Liana and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I talk about relationship advice and marriage advice and dating advice, so all type of relationship. Let's get to it. Today I would like to talk to you guys about what can ruin your marriage. So about that, there's many reasons that could ruin a marriage, and usually it takes a while for you to get a divorce. It's not just overnight that you will get divorced. Well, there's some case that happen, but it's very rare, and usually something is really wrong with their marriage and they just have to kind of break it off right the day after they get married. It usually takes up to like 15 to 20 years, because when they have a small problem, they don't really solve it. They pretty much just whip it under the table and just kind of hide it there and hope it will go away. That happens to so many people, and that's another reason of create a bigger problem later on in their marriage. If you just hide it away and don't talk about it and don't solve it, it will stay there and it will create much complicated and much more problem later on in your marriage. So by avoiding that, you should always solve the problem right away. If you have any problem with your partner, talk to your partner, solve it. And if you feel like you're too busy to talk to each other, well, I'm sorry, but that's just an excuse. Don't run away from your problem. It won't go away. It will just make it worse. I have seen many couples, actually, one of my friends, they always seem like run away from their problem, and they never really talk to each other. They've been married for maybe like 6-7 years now, I think, and when it's going downhill. And with my parents, they usually don't talk about their problem either, because from an Asian culture, we're not that close to our family. We are just really kind of like cold and distant to our family. But now it depends on the family when they more adapting to the Western culture, where we are more closer to each other, from what I see in Vietnam now. But before, my parents would always fight with each other. They don't really talk about it. They don't really calm down and talk about each other and solve it. They always fight with each other. When you so aggressive toward your partner, especially with your words, usually will lead to a physical abuse relationship. So it's usually just start with a verbal abuse, but then later on, when you get pissed and angry enough, you would end up fighting physically with each other. My parents, I honestly don't know if they have ever physically fight with each other, because they always close their room, and then pretty much I only hear them shouting at each other. But one point it was really bad, and they pretty much just like throwing stuff at the wall a lot, but I'm not sure if they still throw stuff at each other. Yeah, so that's something that you want to avoid, and eventually if you do that enough, you would get a divorce from that, because you would turn to hating each other at that point, because you always have that in the back of your mind that, oh, my partner said this about me, oh my god, I cannot believe my partner did that to me. That will bundle up, and if you don't solve it and you don't talk to your partner, you will end up hating him or her even more. They will become your worst enemy pretty much. So to avoid that, you need to acknowledge your problem first and talk about it first. And there is a few main problem that I see happen to a lot of couples. Number one is that lack of communication. Lack of communication happens so many times in a relationship. 90% of the relationship that I have seen and I have advice to is always is that lack of communication. When you don't communicate with your partner is not going to know what you think. They're not going to understand how you feel. You just kind of expect them to know. You cannot expect someone to know what's in your head. It's not some kind of like movie. The guy was just like, oh wow, she's actually mad. Oh, I think because I did this and I did that and I didn't go with her and this and that. Well, I'm sorry, but that's just a script that they have to go off. Let's be realistic. No one can read your mind. If you're mad about something, if you're pissed about something, talk to your partner. Don't yell at him or her because they wouldn't know what they did wrong. Don't be angry because if you be angry, they will get more defensive and that will create a fight pretty much. The situation is supposed to be this small, it will escalate it into much bigger problem. So you don't want that. You want it to stay in this small circle, and by doing that, be calm with your partner. Talk to your partner and explain to him or her that why are you mad, and if it doesn't make sense, then tell your partner that it doesn't make sense. Be always truthful with yourself and always truthful with your partner, because there's going to be many things in life that are going to irritate you, and then after that there's going to be many other things on top of that, and it will just make you feel really uncomfortable, and you just want to take it out on someone else. And when you want to take it out on someone else, we usually take it out on the closest person that's there with you, which is our partner. If you ever feel like that, don't slash out for your partner. Just come to your partner and tell your partner that I'm really stressed right now. I feel very angry. Can we talk? That way your partner will know how to react and how to navigate the situation into how to calm you down and make the situation better, because your partner wants to help you, not want to make it worse. And if your partner always like, oh, you always have this problem or you always have that problem, you should really consider talking to your partner. Why are they always so defensive and they don't care about what you say? That's a completely different topic. But if your partner cares about you, he or she will help you to solve the situation and solve your problem. For some couple, when they have a problem, they usually they give a silent treatment toward each other. There's a lack of trust in there. When you don't trust your partner, you wouldn't be able to share as much thing to your partner. We as humans cannot read each other's mind, and we are not robots who, well, even robots, they cannot read our mind yet, and we are not magician and we can see through someone's brain. So we are just average human being that cannot read people's mind yet. Tell your partner how you feel and listen to your partner. Number 2, lack of intimacy. Lack of intimacy is such a common thing, and it's such a sad thing as well. Lack of intimacy could lead to you and your partner disconnect from each other, and it's going to build a bigger gap between the connection with you and your partner later on in the relationship. You won't be able to share anything with your partner. You wouldn't be able to talk to your partner, and you wouldn't be able to even be close to your partner. You guys would pretty much become roommates, and not even friends, not even close roommate, not even friendly roommate, just a roommate that pretty much sleep in the same bed and then wake up and look at each other and say hello and then leave the house. That's not a marriage. If you want a marriage like that, then don't get married. Just have a roommate. Because what's the point of getting married to someone and tie down with that person and don't love each other at all? Have sex, have a lot of sex. If there's any reason that you cannot have sex, then that is just an excuse. That is just straight up an excuse, because there's many times if you want to make time for your partner, you will. You control the situation. No one can control the situation. Go on dates, have some date night, go on like 2 or 3 dates per week, or like in the weekend to spend together with your partner and give your children to your mother, father, or have a nanny. Have someone take care of them and spend more time together, because your children, they're going to leave you when they're like 18 or 21. They're not going to stay with you forever. Your partner is the person that's going to stay with you forever. So don't wait until your children to grow up and then build that with your partner. That's when the worst time to build any intimacy. It works sometimes, but because you already built so big of a gap of disconnection with you and your partner, you wouldn't be able to connect with each other. It would take a very, very, very long time because you guys have pretty much became strangers. So when you became strangers, you get comfortable in that zone. You wouldn't want to get out of that zone because it's so uncomfortable. So don't wait for anything to get intimacy with your partner. Work together as a team and create this loving relationship. So just have a lot of sex, you know. Anywhere. If you can't have sex at home, then just go somewhere, you know. And for your children, if they're at home and you don't have anyone, just lock your door. I think it's pretty easy to have sex with your partner, even if it's a quickie. Let's move on to number 3, common ground. A lot of couples, they cannot find common ground to each other whenever they fight, and that is a very big problem. Common ground is something that you settle down and you agree on both sides, either if you don't like it or your partner don't like it very much, but you come into a common ground that you both can agree on and work it out together. You cannot be selfish in your relationship. Selfishness is something that you need to avoid. Being selfish is you just want to be with yourself. If you want to be with yourself only, why would you get married in the first place, right? When you get married, you want to be that person. You want the other person to be there loving you and support you and go through everything with you. Your partner married you for that same reason. So don't be selfish to your partner, and whenever there's a problem, always try to find a common ground and come together and figure it out together. Just let your ego go. Go away. Don't let it stay in your relationship. It will just only ruin your relationship. Another way of finding a common ground is that you will start out with a peaceful conversation. Tell your partner that I just want to talk to you. I just want to figure this out together. I don't want to fight. I don't want to create any problem. And by that, you pretty much put in the partner mindset as well that, oh, okay, this is just a peaceful conversation. We're not going to fight or anything. And try to not let your ego come by or even just peek in a little bit. Don't let them in, because that would just ruin the whole thing. Trying to see their point of view as well. And don't get defensive. Don't be offensive at all from what they say. They will just want to talk to you, and just understand that they just want to give you some kind of feedback for you to able to change. And if you don't agree with that and their point of view, tell them that you don't agree with it, and there's another way for you to fix that. You have to work as a team. Don't work separately. Don't avoid your problem. And number 4, a lack of support. Lack of support is something that is enemy to your marriage. A worse enemy, actually, because without support, you won't be able to communicate, to find common ground. You won't be able to have a lot of intimacy in your life either. And usually it's because of selfishness. Don't forget to support each other every single day. Even though you think that your partner is doing something wrong, talk to your partner. And if your partner still want to do that, just support your partner. As long as it's not something like harmful or like unhealthy for them, or like pretty much harmful to their life. I wouldn't recommend that at all. Don't support that. But if something that, if they want to play games every single day, and talk to them. If you don't like it, talk to them. Say that, oh, I don't think it's healthy and I think it is wasting your time. Maybe you should cut it down to 1 hour a day. That's another way of still supporting it, but helping them at the same time. Or they pretty much drink too much, for example. That is really unhealthy. So the way you can support is that you should support a healthier life for them. So there's many other way for you to support your partner and help your partner to be better. And your partner can always do the same thing to you as well. Your partner can always support you by cheering you up whenever you're sad or whenever you get a promotion. Always really happy for you, and they even take you out on a date to celebrate it. Put the support, the big letter of support right here, and put it in your head. Always support your partner. Don't forget to love each other. Don't forget to kiss each other every single morning. That's another way of building more intimacy and support to each other as well, that bring each other more closeness and fondness to each other. That is it, the end of today. I hope you like this video, and I hope this video will help many of you guys out there that are having problem with your marriage, even your dating. Leave the comment below if you have any question. Click like and subscribe. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.